Welcome back to the Explainer. Over our last couple of sessions, we've really dug into polars and DuckDB. And don't get me wrong, those are incredibly powerful tools, but they are focused entirely on single machine data processing. Today, we're breaking out of those limitations. We're diving into Ray to see how Python applications actually scale across multiple, entirely separate machines. Because by the end of this, you're going to see exactly why distributed computing isn't just a nice to have, it eventually becomes absolutely necessary. So here is the big question we have to tackle. What exactly do you do when your data or your computational workload becomes so unbelievably large that it literally outgrows your computer? I mean, when you hit the absolute physical limits of your hardware, even with the most highly optimized tools out there, you eventually have to break out of that single box. And that is exactly where Ray steps in, completely transforming how we approach computation at a massive scale. All right. Section 1. Beyond the single machine. Think of this as the next major step in our evolution. We already know that standard Python multiprocessing gives us true parallelism by creating independent processes across one computer's CPU cores. But Ray takes a massive leap forward. It takes that exact same concept and extends it across a coordinated cluster of entirely separate physical machines. So instead of being constrained by a single motherboard, your workload is shared across a whole network, working together as one giant powerhouse. Moving into Section 2, Distributed Computing with Ray. What's really wild about Ray is just how simple the pipeline actually is. To use it in practice, you're really just looking at 4 steps. First, you install it and initialize your cluster using ray.init. Second, you take a given Python function and mark it as remote by simply adding the ray.remote decorator to it. Third, instead of calling that function normally, you schedule it to run by adding .remote to the call. That tells Ray to go execute it somewhere across your cluster. And finally, step 4, you just use ray.get to grab the final results once all those separate processes finish up. Now here's the real kicker. When you schedule that execution, Ray doesn't just block your code and wait. It immediately hands you back a reference object. This connects directly back to those asyncio concepts we've covered before. It basically lets your program productively continue on and do other valuable work while Ray handles the heavy lifting behind the scenes. You can literally kick off dozens of remote function calls all at once, and then just use your list of resulting references to fetch everything at the very end. Section 3, Remote Functions and Actors. This is a core concept that takes Ray way beyond just simple stateless functions. You see, regular remote functions run once and forget everything, but an actor is a genuinely persistent, stateful worker. You create it by applying that exact same ray.remote decorator, but you apply it to a Python class instead. That means the actor can actually maintain its own internal state across multiple method calls over time. It's incredibly valuable whenever you need your distributed workers to actively keep track of ongoing information. Which brings us to Section 4, Scaling Machine Learning Models. Let's put this into a realistic context. Say the team at Uplatz needs to train several different XGBoost models for various business outcomes. Doing this the old way means sequentially training them one at a time on a single computer, which is a massive bottleneck. But with Ray, you can distribute that entire training workload across several machines, running each model's training process truly simultaneously. And it gets better, because Ray provides dedicated libraries built right on top of its core capabilities. First, you have Ray Train, which distributes massive deep learning processes across multiple machines, each equipped with its own GPU, dramatically slashing your training time. Then, you've got Ray Tune. Think of it kind of like Optuna, but it automates and runs all your hyperparameter tuning trials simultaneously across your entire distributed cluster. To really put this into perspective, imagine processing millions of customer records through a sentence transformers model to generate embeddings. Trying to pull that off on a single machine is just a computationally intensive nightmare. It's a huge bottleneck. But by taking that exact same workload and distributing it across a Ray cluster, you drastically reduce your total processing time and just completely outpace what a single computer could ever dream of doing alone. Let's wrap things up with Section 5, When to Choose Ray. Okay, so when should you actually pull this out of your toolkit? Let's walk through the best practices. Honestly, you should absolutely still choose standard Python multiprocessing if your workload fits comfortably within one single computer's resources. Don't overcomplicate it if you don't need to. But move directly to Ray the second your workload requires entirely separate machines working together. Use Ray actors when you specifically need those persistent, stateful distributed workers. Leverage Ray Tune to speed up your hyperparameter tuning,
and deploy rate train when you need to distribute large-scale deep learning model training.
And this really highlights the massive impact of Ray today, because training the genuinely massive models we see revolutionizing the industry right now, like the major large language models, fundamentally requires distributing work directly across many separate machines. The modern AI industry relies on this exact kind of massive scale distributed coordination to even exist, and Ray has proven to be the well-established, reliable foundation for making that happen. So this leaves us with a truly provocative thought. As our datasets and these models continue growing exponentially larger by the day, are we looking at a future where standard single machine execution is just a thing of the past for data professionals? It's entirely possible. Now, if this explainer helped clarify how Python applications actually scale across multiple machines, make sure you are subscribed for our next topic. We are diving into the disruptive new package manager UV, and we still have 7 more tools to unpack in this series. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you in the next one.